Thank you all to our witnesses for coming in and offering your expertise and insight and testimony today. And in fact, I've been reviewing quite closely the sworn testimonies from some of you and the agencies represented that have been previously provided to other House and Senate committees. And I have noticed some contradictions in FBI testimony as well as some of the Department of Defense records that I'd like for us to just use this opportunity to clear up. And I'll start with Director Wray. Director Wray, we now know that the attacks were planned out in the open on popular social media platforms like Parler and Telegram. Among thousands of violent messages, there were messages saying, quote, if they certify Biden, we will storm Capitol Hill, executions on the steps. Also, wide social media activity included posts discussing specific details ahead of the attack, ranging from maps with layouts of the Capitol complex and construction plans for the gallows. During the Judiciary Committee hearing, Director Wray, you noted that none of the more than 500 people charged so far had been previously under FBI investigation. Does the FBI regularly include social media monitoring as part of its efforts to combat violent extremism?
Thanks. Two things. I appreciate the question. So first, it's not none, it's almost none, which is important. And of course, our investigation is very much ongoing, and the facts are changing probably even as we speak here. But second, as to social media, I think it's understandable that there's a lot of confusion on the subject. We have very specific policies that have been at the department for a long time that govern our ability to use social media. And when we have an authorized purpose and proper predication, there's a lot of things we can do on social media, and we do, and we aggressively do. But what we can't do on social media is without proper predication and an authorized purpose, just monitor just in case on social media. Now, if the policies should be changed to reflect that, that might be one of the important lessons learned coming out of this whole experience, but that's not something that currently the FBI has the either the authority or certainly the resources, frankly, to do, which gets back to the point that I was making in response to one of your colleagues earlier about.
Thank you. Sorry, I apologize for interrupting. We just have limited time. At that same hearing, you also later stated that certainly, and you had stated during this hearing that you all were aware of online chatter about the potential for violence, but, quote, I'm not aware that we had any intelligence indicating that hundreds of individuals were going to storm the Capitol. Now, prior to January 6th, we saw that the FBI officials previously testified to the Senate Homeland Security Committee that there was no such intelligence, despite the fact that the FBI may have been aware of those posts. Would you be able to clarify that for us?
Fortunately, Congresswoman, I'm not sure I know exactly what somebody said in an earlier testimony, so I'm reluctant to try to elucidate somebody else's testimony, unfortunately, since I don't have the benefit of seeing it.
So was this, and I apologize if I'm, boiling this down too much, but it seems as though there may have been either a failure to collect intelligence on this insurrection prior to it happening, or a failure to act on intelligence that we may have had. Is it, given the answer that you just gave, was this due, perhaps policies that you had, that you just pointed to, was this a failure to collect intelligence prior to the event, or was it a failure to act on intelligence that we may have had?
I don't know that I would, I'm not sure I could put it in either of those buckets. I think what this shows is the challenge of getting sufficient information about what is out there on social media to be able to have the ability to distinguish between what we're calling sort of aspirational versus the intentional. It's sort of the
Understood.
wheat from
Sorry,
the chaff.
one last
Answer
question.
that I gave earlier.
One last
Yeah.
question, I apologize. Director Wray, do you have any reason whatsoever to believe that President Trump or anyone in the administration did not want to deploy the National Guard on January 6th?
That's not really a subject I have anything to add on, I'm afraid.
Are there any records of conversations between the FBI and the Trump administration that would potentially reveal knowledge of the potential of the attack prior to January 6th?
I'm not aware of any records of the sort you're describing. Most of the interaction between certainly the White House would have been with the White House and the Justice Department, not the
Understood.
FBI.
Thank you very much.